Please welcome to the exam room, Hill Harper. Hi, Hill.
Hi, Nurse Alice. How are you?
Oh my gosh, we're good. Thank you so much for joining us here in the exam room. But I have to
hmm
say, you are not a stranger to the exam room. And in fact, you've played a doctor several times over on television on City of Angels, CSI New York, and now Dr. Andrews on ABC's The Good Doctor. So I have to ask, is playing a doctor one of your favorite roles?
You know what? Playing a doctor is one of my favorite roles, particularly right now, because I really feel honored to be able to say, through my character, hopefully say thank you to you medical professionals that are truly heroes out there on the front lines, putting themselves in harm's way during this pandemic, during this crisis, and to be able to play a frontline medical worker, a doctor, a nurse, a medical professional in the midst of this pandemic is just an honor. So it's really my way, very simple, small way to say thank you to the true and real heroes out there that are you all medical professionals during this really difficult time. So thank you. That said, playing a doctor in general,
Mm-hmm.
it's fun and makes me happy. You know, both my parents were doctors. My
Mm-hmm.
grandfather on my father's side was a doctor, and my grandfather on my mother's side was a pharmacist. So the medical profession of proud Black folks in the medical profession
Yeah.
means a lot to me. And so I feel very proud to be able to play and represent doctors on television.
Well, you do it so effortlessly. So, I mean, I'm starting to think that, because you come from a family of doctors, that was just naturally infused into your persona. So when you walk on set, it's just a natural thing to you. At least you make it seem that way.
Oh, thank
And
you. Thank you. It feels comfortable. You know, I heard
yeah.
Dr. Harper, Dr. Harper, Dr. Harper, Dr. Harper, Dr. Harper my whole life, referring to both of my parents. So,
Mhm.
hearing Dr. Andrews or on City of Angels, it was Dr. Wesley Williams, and on CSI was Dr. Hawks. All of those are fun to hear, and it feels comfortable.
Okay. But now I have a question. Fun fact, because I was doing some research. I'm not sure if it's your acting debut role, but you've also played a nurse as well on Life Goes On. Am I
Yeah,
getting that right?
that was
Yes.
that was the role that I did that gave me my SAG card, which meant it made me part of the union, and I
Hmm.
was able to join the Screen Actors Guild because of that role. I had one line in an episode of Life Goes On, and I played a nurse. I think I was nurse number one. I don't even think I had a name. Maybe I was nurse number three. I don't even know, but the character didn't have a name. I do remember that. It was nurse something.
But you
And
played a nurse.
I did. I played a nurse, and hopefully, I represented nurses very well.
And I'm sure that you did. So I just had to mention that for all my nurses that are watching. So you do a great job of playing a doctor, but we are also very proud that we had Hill Harper to represent us on television as a nurse as well.
Yes, yes.
Um, but now getting back, so said you heard Dr. Harper throughout your whole life because you come from a family of physicians, but your own education track, I mean, very accomplished. I mean, you hold 3 degrees from 2 Ivy League schools. You graduated magna cum laude from Brown. You were valedictorian of your department, and you received a master's of public administration and your JD from Harvard. So, safe to say that school was a very important part in your family. I mean, from your parents were doctors. You went through all of this extensive education. Was that something that was expected of you, or did you feel pressure to do that? Tell us about your educational journey.
I think I was fortunate. I never felt pressured, but it was always reinforced to me that education builds a foundation, and no matter what you want to do in your life, no matter what your goals and dreams are, to build upon that foundation educationally can help support that life. In my books, I write about this idea that we're all active architects of our own life. That means we're all actively building a life, yet many of us don't break it down like an architect breaks down building a structure. And I was fortunate, my parents never articulated to me in that context, but you saw the blueprint or a plan that they helped me see. And then education is one of the foundational building block pieces for that. So, and I always say the size and scope of your foundation is directly proportional to the size and scope of your goals and dreams. So if you have big goals, big dreams, building a solid foundation educationally and all the other things that go into a foundation for life are important and critical. And so I was lucky that my family emphasized education for the idea of building it foundationally, not to apply pressure and say, I have to do this, right?
Okay.
Because clearly I do a job that you don't even need a high school diploma to do. So it's not about the degree and then using the degree. It's about actually becoming a more learned human. So you have more options, not less.
Absolutely. And that's great. And through your education, though, I just have to ask, when did the acting bug bite you?
So when I went to Brown as a first semester freshman year, one of the great things about Brown is that it's it's an open curriculum. So any class in the whole class catalog you could take, even your first semester freshman year. And so I was playing football at the time, actually, at Brown, and I needed a class that met in the afternoon. And I saw this class, Voice 21, Theater Arts, Voice for the Actor, Shakespeare. It was a Shakespeare class, and it met at the perfect time. So I took this class, and I fell in love. I fell in love with acting. I fell in love with the idea of it. It made my heart beat faster. I realized it was something that I showed some early talent in, and so I just kept following it and taking more classes and learning more, doing more theater, and hopefully, learning and learning and learning. And the deeper I got into it, the more I realized that this is where my heart was and my passion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very important that we follow our passion. And so, following your passion, you've had a stellar acting career. You're also a dedicated philanthropist with your Manifest Your Destiny Foundation, and you're a New York Times bestseller over and over and over again. Gosh, so many things going on. Where do you find your inspiration and energy to to do all of these things?
Inspiration is everywhere. I get so motivated by people everywhere I look. When I go out walking on the street or driving, I see people, I see interesting things, I read interesting things. I really think about two words: impact and legacy. And that's what I want. I want to have positive impact on this world, and I want it to be long lasting. I want it to have some legacy. Because what's the use of impact if it's temporary, and what's the use of legacy if it's not positive? And so, impact and legacy are the two words that I think about when I think about where to put my energy and time. And hopefully, there's an opportunity to create that with the work that I do and the different things that I enjoy.
Well, I definitely believe that you're inspiring people and giving people hope. And, October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And earlier in the show, we had Ananda Lewis, who is currently struggling with breast cancer herself. You yourself have had your own cancer journey, experiencing thyroid cancer. Can you tell us a little bit about how that's impacted your life and your outlook on life?
Sure. So, cancer has run negative roughshod through the men in my family, the Harper side of the family. My father died of cancer. My uncle, his brother, died of cancer, who I was named after. My grandfather died of cancer. So there are certain things I wanted to follow my father's footsteps in, but dying of cancer is not one of them. And so when I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, out of all the cancer you could be diagnosed with, if you're going to get diagnosed with cancer, you want it to be thyroid cancer, which has a very high survivability rate. But the problem is that you just never know where those horrible cells may have migrated, and you hope they haven't migrated to some other place where they may be setting up shop, so to speak. So in my father's case, he was diagnosed with thyroid cancer early on in his life, but then he ended up dying of pancreatic cancer.
Mm.
I am, when I work or talk with anybody, the book I wrote called The Wealth Cure sort of details and talks about the way I approached that diagnosis. And, we're all in this together. Dr. King said we're all tied together in a single garment of mutual destiny. So I believe that everybody who's listening to us right now, we are tied together. Whether you're a medical professional, a nurse, whether you're just somebody who's enjoying looking at your beautiful face because they want to just see you, or whether you're somebody who wants to learn or hear from. Ananda Lewis is an amazing, amazing, inspiring person. And so I must say that you have to seek out your own personal journey and positivity within the realm of a diagnosis and move, keep moving. You know, any type of illness wants us to sit still. They want us to stop finding that really core energy that's in us. And so you keep moving, keep learning, keep trying new things, keep doing different things, keep looking for answers everywhere. And obviously, we all have our own path of what that looks like. But a positive attitude and energy are two critical things with any type of diagnosis like that.
Yes, you guys, it's very important. You know, cancer screening is very important. Seeing your healthcare provider is very important. So, Hill, I'm very glad you were able to get over that. And from your cancer
And
journey,
for Alice, let me say real quick, if you feel something's just not right with your body or something, get it checked out. You
yes,
know, it's more important to go get something checked out. And I know a lot of people are afraid during COVID times, say, oh, I don't want to potentially expose myself here or there. You know, the risk of actually picking something up in an office setting like that is very low if you do all the precautions and all the protocols. It's more important to make sure you're getting checked out. Don't delay your healthcare and healthcare screenings because of the pandemic.
exactly. I couldn't have said it any better. And Hill, again, I'm so glad that you were able to get through that journey. And because of your cancer journey, it actually inspired you to create an all natural skincare line for men and women called Be the Architect. And I heard you say that a little earlier in the interview. So where did that, come from? What's the inspiration behind
Well,
that
it came
title?
from this idea that originally it was that I got frustrated seeing that there were so few affordable products out there that didn't contain all of these negative things like petroleum, petrolatum, the parabens, the aluminums, you know, and all of the things, most of the products that you find in the Walgreens and the Targets and the Walmart of the world and CVS and all these different places where many of us, even Amazon, where many of us purchased our skincare and hair care and all these things that we put on our body that are absorbed into our system, have all these negative things that we don't even know and realize. And so, yet you go to the organic side of the ball, which products that don't have these things, and they're astronomically expensive. And I really said, how can a family afford to have healthy products put on your skin, or at least non-harmful products put on their skin? And so I wanted to come out with a line of products that address that were affordable and accessibly priced.
So where can we go to support you and to purchase these products?
You know, right now, I'll tell you, it's been very difficult. We're all sold out because the supply chains for a lot of our ingredients, and we imported a number of our oils and our ingredients like baobab oil, which comes from Malawi and Madagascar and different places. So we really have had to stop production, to be quite honest, during COVID. And I'll be very honest, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to ramp back up because of all the costs. Because what happens is you pay for all these costs for production, because it was important for me that we produce here in the US and provide jobs here. And once you shut down lines and all of that in these manufacturing facilities, it's a massive expense to ramp them back up because they've moved on to producing other things. For instance, the plant where we were producing our products, they're doing tens of thousands of bottles of hand sanitizer now. And they're basically saying, for us to shut that line down and re-up your line, it would cost you this massive amount of money. And so, just trying to keep the products affordable, we're not sure we're going to be able to ramp back up because of COVID. And that's just the way it happened. So right now, at this very moment, we are sold out, and I'm not sure when we're going to be able to restock.
Okay. Okay. But we'll be following you. So hopefully if this is able to turn around, we'd love to support you, Hill. And
Absolutely. And there's so many ways. Listen, like I said, we have to support each other. And so whatever you're doing, whatever I'm doing, let's figure out different ways to amplify each other, because we're in a time of self-determination. I really believe this.
oh yeah.
Good people, good-hearted people have to support each other. And technology allows that now. We don't have
Yes.
to wait for someone else from the outside to come in and grant us permission or to support it. And we can actually be much more self-determinative. And so, yes, I appreciate whatever I come out with and whatever I'm doing, if folks will support it and share it, and vice versa. I'll do that with folks. I try to read as many of my DMs as possible. I can't read them all, but if someone hits me repeatedly, I usually get to it eventually. And so, using social media, using technology allows us to support each other and communicate. And I think that that's one way to do.
Yes, technology has been a wonder with staying connected. We're learning. We're doing so much on technology now. But Hill, before I let you go, tomorrow it's election day. And you have been very vocal, very much a supporter of getting people to get out there and vote, let their voices be heard,
Yeah.
supporting your friend Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, and of course, our forever president, President Barack Obama, who is a buddy of yours because you all went to school together at Harvard. Can you tell us why is this election so important to you?
This election is so important to me because it's clearly a referendum on our future and what kind of country we want to see moving forward. And also it's a referendum on all of us saying, this is our country. We need you to make sure you vote, but not just you, everybody in your contact list, everybody who follows you on social media, reach out to them, be your own campaign manager, and make sure that they have the ability and that they show up, because this is our country. Okay, we don't have to give it away to other folks. And it gets very frustrating and hard to hear some people say, you know what, I'm just not going to vote, because what I want people to understand and to realize is that you are voting even if you don't vote. And they say, well, what do you mean? I said, well, see, everybody has a vote, so there's a power there. And if you don't vote, you're actually voting for the incumbent. And that's with every election, this election as well as any other election. Not voting is voting.
True.
Not voting is actually voting for the incumbent. History tells us every election that if there's high turnout, there's high turnover, because what happens is the incumbent counts on low turnout and making sure that the folks that voted before vote, and the folks that may not vote for them don't vote. So if you don't vote, you're actually voting for the incumbent. And so there's no such thing as not voting. So actually showing up and filling out a ballot is the way that you express your voice. And that's only one pillar. Voting is not the be all and end all. It's the beginning. It's the beginning, because as soon as we elect folks, we have to then start applying pressure to them to do what we need them to do in representation of us, for the people, by the people. Yet most of us don't do that. Many folks either don't vote because they don't think their vote matters, which it does because they're voting anyway, or they vote and then they don't do anything and they say, well, nothing changed. Gosh, that's not the way it works. You vote, you install people that you think in whatever way may represent your interests better, not necessarily perfect. And then you apply pressure on them throughout their tenure saying, I put you into this office. Now you need to respond to this. And if you don't, you're out. You're done.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you said that so well. I feel like we need a Hill Harper commercial going around about why you should vote and how not voting is actually a vote for the incumbent. I think that was so well said, Hill. And will we be seeing you on a ballot anytime soon?
Oh, I don't know. If you'll support me and you'll get out there and be my campaign manager, maybe
there we go.
You tell
Vote for Hill.
Tell me
Vote for Hill.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, this has been a wonderful time spent with you, Hill Harper. I can't get enough of you, but I know you're busy, you're taping, got a lot of things going on. Can you please tell the viewers where they can keep up with you, follow you on social media, and all of those great things?
Well, I'll tell you, tonight is critical because it's the season 4 premiere of The Good Doctor. Please record it, DVR it, and then even if you don't watch it, press play within 3 days of it airing. You can leave the house and press play and go on. That helps us with our ratings. It's critical. That recording it and pressing play, they get all that data, and that's really one way to support. Another way is just follow me on my Instagram. It's @Hill Harper. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook, and and like and comment on stuff that I post or share stuff. All of that is tracked. We're in a technological age these days, and for the decision makers and folks, they track engagement, they track viewership. And so if you like anything that I'm doing or you want to support it, that's the best way. So I really appreciate everybody. And I return the favor. If there's anything folks are doing that they want me to support, tag me on an Insta story and I'll try to repost it and things like that. I'm happy to support things that are positive and create impact and legacy.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So you guys, make sure to follow Hill Harper on all social media platforms. Make sure to watch The Good Doctor. Look, if you tag him, he might repost your stuff. So this is good stuff.
Right.
He'll again
take a picture of yourself watching and DVR it and press play. Just watching it is good, but DVRing it and press play is really good. And then
take your
picture of yourself with it, like bam, with me when I'm on the screen. Don't do it.
Oh yes. Yeah, when Hill's on the screen.
Post that. I'll repost it and it'll be good. And make sure hashtag The Good Doctor, blah, 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 blah. It'll be good. Yeah, we'll do that.
Right. We'll get them too. So Hill Harper.
You got to come on the show. You need to play a nurse.
Listen, when can I book my flight? I'm on the way. Just let me know. I'm there. Y'all need a consultant. Listen, this is how nurses really do it. But Hill, this has been, a pleasure. I almost feel like we're just kikiing on FaceTime, and this is not necessarily an interview, but it is an interview, guys. This is the exam room. Want to thank Hill Harper so much for his time.
Let me say this so folks know. All of in the surgery scenes, all of the non-speaking, folks working the surgery are all surgical nurses. They're real, and the anesthesiologist is usually a real anesthesiologist. It's the actors. We're actors if we're talking, but the ones that aren't talking and handing instruments and doing things, they're all actual nurses that are in there. And we do have a nurse who is the show's on-set consultant. And so the nurses are really well represented in The Good Doctor. So know you guys are there and you're present.
Yay. Thank you so much. I was like, oh, where do I go online? I got to fill out this job application. But thanks, Hill. You guys check out Hill Harper, The Good Doctor. And thank you so much for watching here on The Exam Room.
Thank you.
Thank you.